Awareness is always knowing itself.
Yes, but chickens are aware, but...
No, chickens are not aware. Human beings are not aware.
Only awareness has
awareness. No, not only awareness has awareness. Nothing has awareness. Awareness is not an attribute of anything. Awareness is aware, period. Awareness is not an attribute of a human being or a chicken or a computer or a rock or a flower.
Yeah, but through what is it then that what I'm trying to get is if animals don't realize their true nature. I mean, I know you just said...
Nor do human beings.
No, it's not the body that realizes.
It's not the body, nor is it the finite mind, because all the finite mind can know is finite. The infinite cannot be known by the finite. So no finite human mind can know consciousness, any more than nobody can see white snow through orange-tinted glasses. And everything you see through orange-tinted glasses is tinted orange. Everything the finite mind knows is tinted by its own limitations. Everything King Lear knows is tinted by King Lear's limitations. That's why he can never know the experience, I am John Smith. Because in order to have the experience, I am John Smith, King Lear must lose his limitations. He must cease being King Lear.
So true happiness cannot be known by an animal, for example?
Or a human being, I'm afraid.
Yeah, but human beings can... It's hard to grasp this.
No, the experience of happiness is consciousness' knowledge of itself. King Lear can never be happy. Never.
But through what?
When?
Through what?
Through what?
Through...
No, King Lear cannot be happy. But happiness is the experience, I am John Smith. As soon as John Smith puts on King Lear's clothes, he is miserable. As soon as he takes them off, he is happy. King Lear cannot have the experience, I am happy. Because the experience, I am happy, is the experience, I am John Smith. King Lear cannot have that experience. The human being, the human mind cannot have the experience, I am infinite consciousness. Only consciousness can have the experience, I am consciousness. And that experience, that knowledge is happiness. So when you when you experience happiness, you don't experience it as a human being. You don't realize it, but actually in that moment you cease to know yourself as a human being. You are knowing yourself as you essentially are.
You can't walk and talk, and at the same time know your true nature and be happy, because I guess you can, but...
Yes, John Smith can know that he is John Smith and still play the part of King Lear. But he knows, he can know himself as John Smith, playing the part of King Lear and not playing the part of King Lear. But it is still not King Lear who is happy. It is John Smith who is happy.
Yes. But
so it's true, you can still walk and talk and be happy, but your happiness is not... is your true nature shining.
And an animal cannot experience that, because I'm trying to...
An animal can't experience it, but a human being can't experience it. The human beings don't experience anything. Happiness, the taste of tea. Human beings are experienced. They don't experience. Everything that you know of, everything that you feel constitutes yourself as a human being. Thoughts, images, feelings, sensations, perceptions, activities and relationships is known by you. A thought does not know something. It is known. A feeling is not aware. It is something we are aware of. A sensation cannot experience something. It is experienced.
So chickens are experienced.
Yes, whatever experiences are experienced through the body of a chicken is experienced by the only one that experiences, namely consciousness.
And what is limiting the chicken to feel the happiness?
It is consciousness itself that assumes the form of a chicken's experience and therefore limits or mixes its experience of itself with a chicken's experience, and therefore limits or forgets its knowledge of itself. That's why chickens don't appear to be very happy most of the time.
No, they're mostly concerned with food all the time. But I understand what you're saying, but it seems to be a privilege to be a human mind, to be able to dissolve or untangle this mind by awareness, so awareness can know itself. Only.
No, you're presuming that awareness has to take the form of a human mind in the first place in order to have the privilege to disentangle itself and go back to itself. You're presuming that John Smith has to first become King Lear in order that he can have the privilege of going back to John Smith. No, he didn't need to be King Lear in the first place. He could have stayed at home. John Smith doesn't need to become King Lear in order to know himself. He does need to become King Lear in order to be King of England or have 3 daughters or go to the war with the French. But in order to know himself, he doesn't need to become King Lear. Indeed, in the form of King Lear, he cannot know himself, because everything he knows is limited by King Lear. Likewise, infinite consciousness does not need to become a human being or a human mind in order to know itself. In fact, in the form of a human mind, it cannot know itself, because everything it knows through the prism of a human mind is tinted with the limitations of the human mind and appears in accordance with those limitations. So in order to know the world, yes, consciousness needs to assume the form of a human mind, and the world appears in accordance with the limitations of the human mind, because consciousness knows the world through the prism of the human mind. But indeed, consciousness cannot know the world directly, because the infinite cannot know the finite. But in order to know itself, consciousness doesn't need to assume the form of a human mind. In the form of a human mind, it cannot know itself. That is why, once it has assumed the form of a human mind, it then has to retrace its footsteps and go back to itself. Chickens do not know that they are chickens. Chicken has no knowledge of it. Chicken never says, I am a chicken. Cows have no knowledge that they are cows, or that they have a body, or that they are in a world. It is only thought that identifies itself, that says, I am such and such.
So is it then because we as human beings have thoughts and reasoning, and maybe...
No, human beings don't have thoughts. A human being is a mixture of thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions. There is no entity to whom thoughts, feelings, sensations, and perceptions belong. There is just thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving. There's just a bundle of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving. That bundle doesn't belong to anything. It is the thing. That is the human being, the bundle of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving. Thinking says there is a person at the middle of this bundle of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving called a self, or a person, which, when looked for, is never found. You experience now thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving, yes?
Yes.
Now, can you find a self or a person at the center of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving? Or is it just thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving?
No, that's the experience.
So what is this self or person? It is just this activity, an activity of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving. There is no actual person there. There is no person. When you have a dream at night, there is no person in your dream. It is just the activity of your own mind. A person is just what that activity looks like when viewed from another localization of consciousness, in other words, from another finite mind. The bundle of thinking, feeling, sensing, and perceiving that you experience looks, from where I'm sitting, like a person. Just as this activity of consciousness called the universe looks like an outside world from the perspective of this apparently inside self.